começou cuidando. Hoje, prepare o meu. Amanhã começou cuidando.
Good morning, everyone. It is now Tuesday, and I thought I'd do a quick recap of yesterday and today. So like I said in the last vlog, this week I'll be in the theater or the operating room. But yesterday when we got to the hospital, we realized that it was a national holiday and it was to celebrate the end of Ramadan. And as a result, a lot of departments actually weren't open. One of them being the operating room. I'm sure obviously they would have done emergency surgeries, but they didn't have any just like scheduled surgeries for that day. So instead we went to the emergency department, and that was really fun. Like I said last week, the people there are awesome. When we first entered, actually, the first thing we saw was a patient who had tried to commit suicide. When we got there, they had just finished pumping his stomach, and by the time we left, we still didn't really know what he had taken or what caused him to want to take his life. All we were able to do was help clean him up and then transfer him into like a different bed so that they could monitor him. And then after that, we also saw a case of confirmed TB, which was really interesting because the patient had been in the emergency room for, I think they said like 4 days already, and it was just getting confirmed, and it was taking quite a bit of time to actually get the patient into isolation, and so they were kind of stressed about that. I don't know why it was taking so long. I think maybe the lines of communication weren't all that clear. But by the time we left, they had taken him to isolation. So that was really interesting. We saw a breast cancer patient as well, and she was in there for, I'm not really too sure. She was not fully responsive, but it was like she was doing it on purpose, and so it was time for her to get discharged, but then it was like she didn't want to get discharged, and the doctor was confused himself. He's like, what is happening? So I don't really know what happened with her. I think she eventually got discharged, but yeah, that was weird. And then I also got to help put in an IV drip. Don't worry, I was safe. I didn't do anything that I wasn't supposed to do. Obviously the nurses were there with me, but that was really interesting, just knowing how it works and things like that. And then today we went to the emergency room, and and today we went to the theater. And one thing I've noticed about the theater is that they have like certain themes, I guess you would say. So like Mondays are for like urology cases, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are for gynecology, and Fridays, I've never been there on a Thursday or Friday, so I don't know, but every day basically has a theme, so you see a lot of the same kinds of patients. And so today we all the urology cases got pushed back, so we saw a lot of urology cases today. And one thing that was particularly interesting was the lights actually went off during surgery, twice actually. One time it came back in maybe like 15 seconds, and then the other time it took a couple minutes before it came on. Thankfully though, like everything that they needed to actually do the surgery was still okay. That didn't go off, but I don't really know the cause of that. I thought they were on a different grid system, but that was really that was really interesting. I'm just thankful that it didn't affect the surgery. And we saw a case, I think 2 or 3 cases where it was a case of undescended testes, so they had to go in and bring it down to where it's supposed to be. And for one of them, they actually couldn't find I believe it was the left one. They actually couldn't find that one. But the surgeon said that it was absolutely fine and that he can survive on just one, and it's more than enough. So, and these were all on little kids, by the way. The surgeon was telling us that usually within 2 years, the testes will descend on their own, but if not, then that's when they go in surgically. So that's what they were doing. Yeah, yesterday we were supposed to go to the Cured Lepers Village, but the rain it was raining way too hard for us to go, and the roads there are really muddy, and so we wouldn't have been able to go. And then today we don't have anything planned, I don't think. So I'll see you guys tomorrow with more stories from the operating room. Hello again. It is now Thursday, and yesterday was our last day in the operating room. These next 2 days we're doing outreaches. Yesterday we saw a bunch of hernia and gynecology operations. There was one man who came in. His hernia had been growing for 15 years and he had been self-medicating with alcohol. And this hernia was so big, it was the size of maybe a small watermelon. And I was just thinking to myself, how did you do this for 15 years? Oh my goodness, that was incredible. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. Maybe he was scared, I don't know, but either way, it made for a very interesting surgical case. And then we saw maybe 4 myomectomies, which is the removal of fibrils from the uterine wall. And some of them were very, very large. And it was really interesting. I'd never even heard about this before, and so it was a great learning experience. And I actually got to help with the surgical prep. Trust me, it was very minor stuff. It was all sterile, but that was really, really cool. And then, yeah, one thing I noticed during the surgeries yesterday, during the myomectomy and the hernia removal surgeries, a lot of them only got local anesthetics to where they needed to operate. And at a certain point, in pretty much all of these cases, you could see the patients were in so much pain, like clenching of their fingers or like moving their legs around. One lady was actually moving around so much that she was like kicking stuff off of the table. And to be honest, I don't know how this surgery is done in other parts of the world, but I don't know. I was talking to the anesthesiologist, and he was saying that local anesthesia is better than general anesthesia, which is when you're completely knocked out. But I felt like maybe they could give them more of the local anesthetic, but it was like you had a maximum amount that you could use, and once that was used like that, you couldn't add any more. But I was also confused because after a certain point, when the pain was too much for the patients, eventually 2 or 3 of them were put under general anesthesia. I mean, the hernia case that had been growing for 15 years, he was in surgery for 2+ hours, and we were there when it started, left for another surgery, came back, and when we had come back, he was gone for. And so, again, that was a really shocking thing, I guess, because I guess when I thought of surgery, I thought you didn't feel a thing until afterwards, after the pain medication wore off. But I did not find that to be the case, and so that was probably the most interesting thing that I got out of the operating room. But this morning we went to the school that we were at last week.
Row. 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 Your boat. Boat. Row. Row. Your boat. Yeah.
I just want to explain something real quick. I realized I didn't explain it well in the last vlog. The reason why he was asking them who had brushed their teeth that morning and who had showered that morning, it was because it's part of the education we're doing. It's to teach them how to brush their teeth, and we inspected their teeth when we were there. Obviously it was not a proper dental inspection, but some of them had really bad teeth, and so we taught them how to brush their teeth well, and we also gave them toothpaste and toothbrushes and vitamins to everyone. So that was why he was asking those questions. But yeah, we did that again today, and then tomorrow we're gonna do that, but I think it's gonna be at a different school. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. It is Friday morning and we were on our way to another outreach at one of the schools, but unfortunately we got a flat tire and we don't have a spare, so I think they're trying to figure something out right now, but I will let you guys know what happens.
Organize everywhere.
Oh, fine.
Okay.
Are you watching?
That's so close. The car's gonna flip over me.
That's super steep.
Yes.
Hello guys, so as you can see we're kind of in a new place right now. We decided to come up to the Vulture Serene, which is a really nice hotel right up the street from us, and we're just gonna have dinner. So I'll show you guys what we get soon.
I'm her ex-husband.
One eternity later.
Okay guys, so we've now been here for over an hour and we're just getting the first batch of orders. We got the pizzas. So far, I'll give this place a 2 out of 5. We'll see, we'll come back after the food and give it a verdict